almost too far gone to help anyone. So with all this in mind,
I don't see
why
anything.
is
I'm not
Sandy
gonna light on.
Shores still a town? And why don't officials try to help Sandy Shores more? The answer
Population is
to
like
that is
300.
very simple. Use the fact that it is run down with a very little population to their advantage. There is a prison just outside Sandy, very hard to escape out of because of its location. If you try to make the daring escape to Los Santos, you will likely get seen by the many residents and be called in to your arrest. If you try to flee towards the desert in Sandy Shores, you will suffer from the blistering heat in the daytime and the shivering cold of the night. Not even mentioning the scarce amenities there are in Blaine County. It's not like there are many places to eat and drink in Sandy Shores, leaving the only viable option to escape to Toledo. However, it is just too far and risky to attempt. Despite most of Blaine County being abandoned, there are some parts that appear to be doing just fine, like Harmony. There is a small strip mall with a couple of businesses that also houses a fleet of bank branch. The only bank in all of Sandy Shores, which could be the reason why it is standing. There is zero competition. Harmony also has a small motel, which, while not looking perfect, seems to be doing just fine. It looks like if there's any bit of tourist activity, or somebody just needs a place to stay for a little bit, Harmony could be the place to go instead of Sandy Shores. Now we must discuss the gains of Sandy Shores. Well, first off, there is the one we are all too familiar with, Trevor Phillips Enterprises, and the O'Neill brothers, which live not too far out of town in a town called Grapeseed. And then there's the Lost Motorcycle Club, which has a headquarters just outside of Sandy Shores in a small trailer park called Stab City. However, like previously mentioned earlier, there is a sheriff's office located in the middle of Sandy Shores. Unfortunately, like also mentioned earlier, the sheriff's office is fairly small, and the workforce of that sheriff's office is also very small, making them very prone to getting
ONETS.
it seems like from the looks of it, there's not enough enforcement going on in Sandy Shores, but no one bothers to enforce it because it's already too far gone, or they're benefiting from it. And it's not just crackhead hillbilly benefiting from it. Think about it. There is a military base not too far away, a prison like previously mentioned, and the Humane Labs, which seems to conduct experiments not really shown to the FIB or the IAA. It seems like the officials are even taking advantage of Sandy Shores' desolate state. All of this makes Sandy Shores feel like such a creepy place to me. It's always been strange how there's almost no lighting, and the lighting that there is dim. Not to mention the tallest mountain in the game, Mount Chiliad, reigning supreme over the town of Sandy Shores and its residents. So with all this in mind, we can now answer the question, was Sandy Shores always abandoned? No, it wasn't. It was likely a decently popular town in the 1950s or 60s, but due to better job opportunities located elsewhere, was left to a state that nobody cared to fix, as both state officials and criminals benefited from its demise, using it for both of their operations, and that is unlikely to continue.
This is such an unusual night because the air is so thin that it's moving inside. It looks like it disappears. We were just totally uncompromising. So we got exactly the geometry, exactly the sharpness, exactly the materials. So how do you make a knife that's impossible to make? Well, you start with the very best, and you push the limits. Nobody can do that. We're glad to say we did. This is the ultimate knife for chefs to manufacturing every slice. You're looking at a laser geometry blade, 1.6 millimeters thick this time, through a high precision flat grind technique. It also carries minimal distance behind the cutting edge.
ONETS. Donuts.
This kind of flex on a chef knife, but because of how strong the steel is, we're able to spin the blade right now. It can flex, and it'll still bounce back to you. That's what we're talking about. In the process of creating the Spartan Ghost, we encountered failure after failure. We had numerous passes. Powder steel is so hard. It's very sensitive. And we came up with a solution. We coated these with diamond-like coating. A whole new concept that just takes the Spartan Ghost to a whole new level. There's a lot of obstacles to overcome, but the resulting thing is what sets it apart from really nice. The L-Strong line armor coating is a micro layer of the
up.
This allows us to connect with razor sharp iron using sipping tape and amazing instrumentation. Featuring an ultra-fine grain structure with significantly fewer impurities than traditional knife steels. The edge itself is quite unique. It's got that deep profile. Ensures it's nice and stable and it won't slip around. The downstream line should treat conditions it to resist rust, neutralize chipping, and stand up to an advanced thermal and cloud treatment. Shield is the new benchmark in life longevity and resilience. This will stay incredibly sharp on mountains and mountains. Whether it's heavy movements, delicate beds, this is the slickest looking experience you can get. With a 70-day money-back guarantee, lifetime warranty, and a free protective sheet, Downstream protects your investment for life. The difficult development design gives us pushing the business, custom tools, and allows to achieve things that we never able to. It's so easy in every product because otherwise it's just a knife. This little Easter egg leaves a golden on the back, which Spartan said in the battle for Thermopylae. When he told the troops when they asked him to lay down the arms, he said, this is something you're going to keep on. You're going to have to come and take it on.
Maelstrom, breakthrough culinary tools.
Lay's 42 to base. Lay's 99 cents. DONETAS donuts. BREAD bed. Yogurt dick. Yogurt? Yeah, what's a yogurt? Okay, I gotta take my time. I gotta not do this too fast, do it slow. Tiffany, can we have what's the package though? We actually could, that one got used to date. And don't date anymore. DONET. Denix, what's a Denix? Hell. DONETS donuts. Donuts.
Southern San Andreas houses many districts within, from the countryside to the ghettos of the city. All have their own pros and cons, but which is the best place to live overall?
Hello.
In terms of quality of life, cost of living, and more. Today we find out. Subscribe to become a follower.
This is not the old from the 70s. I got one type from the 20s. I can't even use.
Rather poor areas of Los Angeles. It's known to have many gangs, and the crime rate is definitely one of the higher levels in the state. Unfortunately, it seems that the area is a food desert as well. If you want healthy options to eat, then you are limited to cooking healthy food at home after buying groceries from the store. Many fast food chains are present in the area, which provide entry-level jobs for high schoolers, but can also serve as a place to hang out for some. Davis does have its own dedicated police department, which is definitely helpful.
I don't got a
Davis is
printer.
also situated in Davis as well as
And I'm not paying 15 cents at the library.
that opened up sometime during 2019, which once again provides an area for younger folks to hang out without the worry of being troubled by any mischiefs. A bail enforcement office also recently opened up next to the barber shop, which enables
Chips, donuts, bread.
communal activity. The Los Santos Metro also runs in the district, giving easy access to different parts of the city at a low cost, which could mean that you might be able to go without a car in Davis. But now let's talk housing. It's almost certainly one of the cheapest in the state because of its
Bread,
services.
pizza.
There are many apartment complexes in the district as well as single-family homes. You are in very close proximity to downtown Los Santos and pretty
Yogurt.
much every other district in the city as well. But the gang activity and high crime
can't
rates are lowering score quite a bit. Overall, I would not recommend living here even with its low cost of living. This is a bad place to raise children and a bad place to grow old as well. If you're on a budget, there are better places to live, and Davis has to be on the bottom of the list so far. If you live here, you've likely been born here and you've lived here all your life and you don't have enough to move out, or some other scenario. But I would not recommend moving. Next up is El Burro Heights. El Burro Heights is the southeast of Los Santos. It's a reasonably okay place to live. Sure, of course, there's gang activity here, which you should get used to, by the way, because only a couple of districts have no gang activity whatsoever. But for the most part, it's alright. There's not really anything going on here.
J-O-E-N-T-S.
The oil fields are nearby, though. The industrial area is also close by, which both provide reliable jobs for the most part. It means that Elboro Heights is a place to come
E-A-D.
eat, sleep, and leave for work again. You definitely aren't inviting people over. If you are, they may be let down by the accommodation. This is just an out-of-the-way district that is used to living for nothing more. It's also worth noting that
Rogue.
any apartment complexes
E-R-T. There we go.
hard because not many people want to live here. Homes range from okay to about this habitable for a human, but all are very affordable. As long as you save yourself in this district, however, you'll probably be fine. Whoever lives here, he isn't what I would describe as a human, but he's just fine. There also isn't any public transport in the area, so a car is definitely needed to commute to work. Overall, I would live here if I had one goal: save as much money as possible by finding a place to simply eat and sleep in, nothing more. Although if that was my goal, I would probably just be a roommate with someone, but the option is there. Mirror Park is a nice suburb situated just to the east of downtown Los Angeles. It suffered from gentrification, but if you have the means to live here, I definitely would consider it. There are many local businesses in the area like coffee shops, a barber shop, a gas station, and a mechanic shop. Although most residents likely don't work at any of these establishments. Due to its close proximity to the city, people likely commute instead of working at these local businesses. The area are also quite nice. Mirror Park is a relatively new suburb in Los Angeles, so it is built with modern trends and technology. Although that comes with a hefty price and lots of demand. There is also a nice place situated in the middle of the suburb where I assume you can go kayaking. The people here are most definitely Mirror Park's biggest con, however, as some are self-centered millennials who work at tech companies and buy trucks just to go to the supermarket every so often. There are, however, many homes for sale in the area. I'd say actually about 15% of the homes in Mirror Park are for sale, which means one of two things. People don't have the money to live here, which could be likely, or people don't want to deal with the lifestyle of living in Mirror Park. But if you can get past the residents, then Mirror Park has to be one of the better places to live. There isn't any big activity in the area, it's far too long to allow it. Please will be all over it in a heartbeat. And it's in close proximity to the Diamond Casino and the resort as well, which is a nice added bonus. Overall, Mirror Park is a nice place to live because of prerequisites for it, meaning you make a good amount of money, are able to get past the residents being a social downtown, and are able to find a home for sale or rent in the area, which shouldn't be too hard. Still, there are better places that exist in the city. West Vinewood is a somewhat old district of Los Santos, as you can tell by the architecture. Many of these buildings wouldn't be allowed to be made with today's regulations, like the infamous big apartment buildings. You probably see
Dig a hole, China.
usually consists of parking below the units, which allows for a condensed property with the added amenity of parking, which became a necessity as cars became more popular. However, these buildings likely wouldn't hold up too well to Los Santos' all too familiar earthquakes. The living expenses here are a bit of a mixed bag, though. Most of these homes are developments, and there are no actual houses in West Vinewood. This is very much a district where living spaces are shared, so apartments are really your only way to go here. This means that most residents are likely couples without children or loners because there isn't really enough space in this area to raise a family. West Vinewood is situated very close to downtown Los Santos, however. You really can't get closer than this unless you want to pay for a high rise in the city. The rent price is just like that, however, so you will still need a decent amount of capital to live here.
Okay,
Vinewood has considered the main strip of Vinewood Boulevard. These businesses mostly entail entertainment and food, however. Not many mechanic shops or trade stores are in the area. You can, however, find other businesses if you go a bit out of the beaten path of the town. You can find a barber shop, a tattoo tattoo shop, multiple clothing stores, a mall nearby called the Rockford Plaza, although that is separated from West Vinewood courtesy of Pollock Avenue. That separates West Vinewood from the city. The thankfully isn't too bad in West Vinewood as well. There are many apartments available for rent at reasonable prices. Gang activity isn't necessarily present in the area, but one should still be cautious in West Vinewood. There are endless amounts of street thugs that are looking for their next payday from West Vinewood residents. Whether that be a plain old robbery or stealing
Nope,
wheels
got that,
off
got that.
or minimus. It happens in the area. Overall, West Vinewood is a decent place to live that is affordable with many amenities, but in a big city and especially in active districts like
B-O-C-O.
you speak to and always keep your head on a swivel. The last thing you want to have is a telephone weasel news for trying to go about your day. The Vinewood Hills is the picturesque place to live for many. Sitting in a big empty mansion in the hills while you look down on all of those who are less fortunate than you sounds like a dream for many. There aren't any real cons to living in the Vinewood Hills. I will say that if you are a person of status, you should be wary of who is nearby you at all times, but you probably already know that and likely have security as well. The people who live here have reached a pinnacle in their respective field, and most of the time that's acting or crypto scamming, but still a pinnacle nonetheless. The homes here are very nice and very expensive as well. Not just to mention mine, but also
milk.
fires are quite a concern in the hills. It turns out just because you paid your insurance on time for 5 years straight doesn't mean they'll pay you out if a disaster happens. You need to be very careful about which home you buy because of that. As for amenities, there aren't many, but the city is pretty close, so you can drive over to get your daily dose of the public. A brand new Nuts Jubilee with 500 miles on it. You can go for a hike on one of the many trails in the hills in your workout clothes that cost way too much to be made by a child overseas. You can visit the Galileo Observatory and use a scope to spy on the peasants in the city who can't afford to be at the top. But that's about it. Overall, if you would be able to afford to live here, I'd say it's a good idea. Sort of. You're paying an enormous amount of money for a big house just for you and maybe your spouse to live in, but per value, I'd say this isn't the place to live. You've got to be a certain type of person to live here, and most people think they are until they realize they aren't. Vespucci Beach is truly a nice part of town to live in. The Del Perro Pier is nearby as well as the beach obviously, and along with it, the Vespucci Boardwalk as well. And just because you live in Vespucci Beach doesn't mean you live in a beach house worth more than your entire bloodline's net worth. You can also find somewhat affordable housing in Vespucci Beach, and it really starts to make sense once you split the rent with others. Most places come with parking assistance, which is always nice. Some are even created for added protection. Local businesses are plentiful in the area, like a tattoo shop, many cafes and bakeries, a pizza shop, and 2 clothing stores. The Del Perro Police Department is also nearby and would be the one protecting the area, which is always nice to have. There's also a nearby nightclub franchised by Tony Prince, so if dancing is your thing, then that is available for you as well. There's really no gang activity here, but in its place are crackheads, which might be the same, if not a bit worse than gangs, because you just never know what they're gonna do. If you have a boat, the marina is also nearby. Just make sure you never let your son borrow it, and you should be all good there. The district is also very close to downtown Los Santos once again, so commuting to work in a vehicle sounds like something you'll be doing, unless you want to lose some calories from burger shot and walk instead. Overall, Vespucci Beach is a decent place to live. I'd say it's right in the middle for a district. Not too much crime, it's not the nicest, but far from the worst looking. As for the police department, it is relatively affordable. All of those perks make it a place I would greatly consider living in. Chumash maintains most of the benefits of Vespucci Beach without all the hustle and bustle of the city. It's out of the way, and that would make you think that it may be lacking on the amenities, but you would be surprised. Chumash has a plaza, and within it are many useful stores like a hardware store, a clothing store, a tattoo shop, a gun shop even, a general store, a post office, and a small bank franchise. One could live here and not really leave if they tried. You've got all the basic amenities here, and you're far from the city, so at this point a drive there likely wouldn't make sense just to get some P&Qs. The houses are pretty nice and situated usually on the actual beach itself, sitting on top of stilts. This is a bit concerning if global warming is course, but you're not worried.
D-O-N-E.
The homes are still expensive because you are on a beach, far away from the city, which is an added bonus for many people. With the residents here, these homes are second, sometimes third home for them. They go here to get away from the drama of the city, and I can't blame them. It has a nice view that you can fish off of, and you could also launch a jet ski into the ocean if you get tired of land. Overall, Chumash is actually a nice area to live in, so you probably can have kids in the area. There isn't too much to do except lounge inside all day. This is for singles or maybe couples who want to relax and live a quiet life and still retain some modern Shores is a town that is quite frankly past its prime. Sure, it was a nice area to live in at some point in time, but that time is no more.
W-A-T-E-R.
Without the modern, they want to stay live here. The sheriffs here are almost certainly corrupt, so don't piss them off if you'd like to keep living on this planet longer. The homes in the area
Okay,
are
I'm
what
done.
you would expect, falling apart and hard to live in even for humans. One doesn't move to Sandy unless they truly hit rock bottom and want to see if the floor can get any lower. There aren't many amenities here besides the usual tattoo shop, barbershop, gun store because this is the countryside after all, and there are a couple of convenience stores as well. It does have the Harmony Strip, which looks okay I guess, but I still wouldn't feel a tad bit safe there as I wouldn't in any part of Sandy. Not only would I not recommend living here, I would actively avoid ever stepping foot here. Literally and figuratively, because there might be some weird stuff on the floor, let's just say you don't want to get on your foot. Job opportunities are almost non-existent here also. You can't really work at any of these businesses because they already have employees who settle for the $1.50 an hour they probably pay, and they don't want to replace them. Overall, the only way I would ever live in Sandy is if somebody told me I would die otherwise. Even then, this town likely would end me first.